My dear 11th class economic students, Assalamu alaikum. In our previous few lectures, we discussed classification of data, which prepares a solid ground for proper presentation of data. The presentation of data means exhibition of the data in such a clear and attractive manner that these are easily understood and analyzed. There are two important forms of presentation of data. Number first, tabular presentation of data, and second important form of presentation of data is diagrammatic presentation of data. In this lecture, we will focus on tabular presentation of data. My dear students, tabular presentation of data is the presentation of data in the form of a table. Or in other words, we can say that it is a systematic arrangement of data in columns and rows. Thus, when statistical data are arranged in columns and rows, it is known as tabulation of data. Tabulation of data is designed to simplify presentation of data for purpose of analysis and statistical inferences. Vertical dissections of table are known as columns and horizontal dissections are known as rows. It means that rows are horizontal arrangements whereas columns are vertical arrangements. Now coming to the objectives of tabulation, my dear students, as it has been made clear from the definition of tabulation of data, tabulation is meant to summarize lots of information in such a simple manner that it can be easily analyzed and interpreted. Major objectives of tabulation of data are given here in this slide. Number first, to simplify complex data. That is, tabular presentation of data helps us to simplify complex data. In the process of tabulation of data, unnecessary details are avoided and data are presented systematically in columns and rows in a concise form. All tabulated data are presented in such a manner that they become more meaningful and can be easily understood by a common man. Second is to facilitate comparison. Students' data presented in rows and columns facilitates comparison. Since a table is divided into various parts and for each part separate subtotals and totals are given, relationship between various items of the table can be easily understood. Third important objective of tabulation of data is to depict trend and pattern of data. That is, with the help of tabular presentation of data, we can depict the trend and pattern of data. Tabulation of data depicts the trend of the information under study and reveals the patterns within the figures which cannot be understood in a descriptive form of presentation. Another objective is to help reference. When data are arranged in tables with titles and table numbers, they can be easily identified and made use of as source of reference for further studies. And the last important objective of tabulation of data is to facilitate statistical analysis. Students, after classification and tabulation of data, statistical data becomes fit for analysis and interpretation. Various statistical measures like mean, dispersion, correlation, regression, etc. can be calculated easily from the data which are systematically tabulated. Now coming to the another aspect of tabulation of data, which is the main components of a table. Dear students, different parts to which a table should be divided would depend on the nature of the data and the purpose for which they have been collected. However, in general, a statistical table is divided into 8 parts, which are explained or given here in this slide. first important component or the part of a table is table number. Dear students, each table should be numbered for easy identification and future reference. The table number may be given on the top of the table or it may be given on the left hand side along with the title of the table. Sometimes table number is given in the center at the bottom of the table. Second important component of a table is title of the table. Dear students, every table should have a title which must be written in bold letters. Title is generally given at the top of the table in the center. A good title is clearly worded and gives a brief statement about the nature of the data and the time span, if any, to which the data relate. Third important component of a table is head note. Dear students, if the title of the table does not give complete information, it is supplemented with a head note. Head note completes the information in the title of the table and is placed below the title of the table. Generally, it is put in brackets. For example, the unit of measurement are generally written as head note. Fourth important component of a table are captions. Dear students, captions refer to the headings of the vertical columns, or simply it is the title given to the columns of a table. A caption generally has a main heading and a number of small subheadings. A caption should be written in unambiguous language and placed at the middle of the column. If various columns are expressed in different units, they should also be mentioned along with the caption. Next important component of a table is stubs. Students, stubs refer to the headings of the horizontal rows. That is, these are the title given to the rows of a table and they are written on the left hand side of the rows. These titles indicate information contained in the rows of the table. The main part of the table or main field of the table is the body of table. Dear students, the body of the table contains the statistical data which have to be presented. This is the most vital part of a table and the data contained in the body are arranged according to captions and stubs. Each item in the body of a table is called a cell. Seventh important component of a table is footnote. Dear students, footnotes are given below the table and are meant to clarify anything which is not clear from the heading, title, stubs, and captions. For example, if there are exceptions to the data or if it is necessary to give any further explanation of certain items, they are given in the footnote. Last important component of a table is source. When tables are based on secondary data, source of the data is to be given. Source of the data is specified below the footnote. It should give name of the publication from which the data has been extracted and the name of publisher, year of publication, reference, page number, etc. Here in this slide is a specimen of a table indicating different parts or components of a table discussed in our previous slide. Firstly, table number given here, which is given at the top of a table. Below the table number is given the title of the table, which is given here, and there is also given the head note, which is generally put in brackets. Here is the caption of the table, that is the headings of columns. In the left side of the table, row headings or stubs are given, which are also known as sub-entries. And dear students, this is the main body of the table, which contains the statistical data which have to be presented. And below the table here is given the footnotes, which are meant to clarify anything which is not clear from the headings, title, stubs or captions. And below the footnote is mentioned the source of data if the table is based on secondary data. So dear students, in this lecture we discussed about the main concept of the tabular presentation of data, the various objectives of tabular presentation of data, and the different parts or components of a table. In our next lecture, inshallah, we will be talking about the general rules of tabulation and the different kinds or types of tables. That is the basis of classifying tables. Thank you.